it's one of these subjects that, you know, when I say low-fat diets aren't good for you, a lot of people are quite kind of horrified. But there's a really good reasoning behind this. The one thing I will say, which is really important, if you are having to go on a low-fat diet, if you're on cholesterol medication, please follow your healthcare practitioner's advice. So this is just general advice for the majority of people going through the perimenopause and menopause. So the first thing that happens in a lot of cases is we end up putting on a little bit of weight in the perimenopause and the menopause. So what happens then is it's like, oh, we need to lose a bit of weight. And the first thing that everybody thinks about is either a low-calorie diet or a low-fat diet. Problem is, in the perimenopause and menopause, we need fat in order to help us through this. So not all fats are the same. There are bad fats, such as saturated fats. So these are fats that are in things like red meats, processed foods, in a lot of snacks and things like that. So these are fats that no, we don't want to be eating a lot of. But there is a lovely range of healthy fats that are going to really help us in lots of different ways. So I'm going to go through this today. So why do we need healthy fats? We need healthy fats because our body makes hormones out of them. We need healthy fats as the basic building blocks for hormones. So here we are at just the point in our lives when our hormone levels are decreasing, our body is making less, and then we are eating less of the very things that our body needs to make as much hormones as possible. So a little bit of fat on a daily basis is really important. We also need fats for all sorts of health reasons. We need fat for brain function. So if you're getting that foggy brain, it may well be that you're just a little bit low in the good fats. We need fat for our skin to keep our skin nice and moist and supple. We need fat for our joints. Fats lubricate our joints. So if you're getting a lot of joint pain, if you're getting joint inflammation, which is really common in the perimenopause and menopause, again, it may be that you're just needing a little bit of extra fat in your diet. You need fat to help our body absorb what's called fat-soluble vitamins. So there's three main ones. There's vitamin A. We need vitamin A. So it's one of these forgotten vitamins. We don't tend to think about it as being really important. We need vitamin A for skin health. We need vitamin A to support our immune system. We need vitamin A for our eyes. Remember, it used to be if you ate lots of carrots, it was good for your eyesight, and carrots contain vitamin A. And we also need vitamin A to help with lung health. We need vitamin D, and this is one that I do talk about on a regular basis. Low vitamin D will affect our mood, it can cause depression, it can affect our bones, leading to osteoporosis, it can affect our nerves as well. So vitamin D is a really, really important one that we need plenty of. We also need vitamin E, and again, this is one that tends to get a little bit forgotten about. Vitamin E is very important for our skin. It's another one that keeps our skin healthy. Vitamin E is really important for our heart health. And unfortunately, in the menopause and post-menopause, women are more vulnerable to things like heart disease and heart attacks. So it's a really important vitamin that we should be getting on a regular basis. So you can see already why we need certain fats. So which ones should you be looking at? We are looking at what's called plant source fat. So remember, red meats and dairy contain the saturated fats, which we do need a little amount of them regularly, but obviously they should be kept to a minimum. But our plant source ones would be things like our extra virgin olive oil, which is great. You can put it on salads, you can use it in soups. I take a teaspoon of raw extra virgin olive oil. Whenever I have a plate of soup, I just put it in. You can't taste it. And again, it's great for all these things that I've just talked about. You can make salad dressings. And again, I just make homemade salad dressings using the extra virgin olive oil. You can use avocado oil, which is a really good one. You can also look for coconut oil. I know this is a saturated fat, but it's one of these ones that's a lot healthier than the dairy and the meat source. And this is a good one. Olive oil is best not used for cooking. So things like your coconut fat is a really good one when you want to cook things like sauté onions and things like that. So there's lots of benefits from these particular oils. We don't recommend things like sunflower oil. A lot of the other oils, they are cheaply made, they contain additives, and they can often be processed. So be really careful about the natural oils that you do use. Nuts and seeds are a super addition to your daily diet. So you can either have them whole. I tend to recommend having them in their shell. One, because it takes so long to shell them, you don't eat a lot. Otherwise, you know, if you get a packet of almonds or walnuts or things, you can end up eating quite a lot, which can, you know, be very calorific. So I find if you actually have them in the shell, it takes a little bit of time to shell them. You eat them much more slowly. Also, the fats in nuts and seeds can go rancid really, really quickly, and that's not good for you either. You can also ground up your seeds, things like sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds. The best thing to do is to ground them when you need them, or if you ground too much, put them in the fridge. Again, if you grind them up and you leave them for too long, fats are going to go rancid, and that's a really unhealthy thing to take. Be careful of peanuts. They're not actually nuts, they're legumes. So don't eat a lot of those, but you can have them in things like nut butter. So nut butters is another good thing in moderation. Almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter. But make sure these butters are completely pure. There's no other oils added to them. There's no salt or sugar added to them. Just have them as they are, and that is ample. So you can look at fish is another really good source of your essential, your fats. So things like sardines, fresh tuna, not tin tuna. There's no decent amount of fish oils in tin tuna. Things like your sardines, mackerels, kippers, if you like them. I mean, sardines are one of the cheapest fishes that you can get. They're also, as far as I'm aware, one of the highest sources of omega-3, which is your fish oils. For those of you that are vegetarian or vegan, you can go with flaxseed oil instead of the fish oils. So you can get them in all sorts of different sources. So there's also something called essential fatty acids. And they are called essential because our body can't manufacture them. We need to get these ones specifically from food, and they are essential for our health. So that's our 3, 6, 7, and 9. So your omega-3 is your fish oils. Your omega-6 is things like your evening primrose oil. Your omega-7 is your sea buckthorn oil, which is great for dryness everywhere. And omega-9 you can get in a whole range of all sorts of different foods like the fish and the nuts and the seeds. So if you find that you are not particularly keen on eating lots of oils or your meats and fishes, you can get what's called essential fatty acid supplements that can have the 3, 6, 7 and 9 already in there, or you can get them separately. Other thing to be really aware of, our liver plays a very important part in the way our body deals with fats. And we know that during the perimenopause and menopause, the liver can get really stressed just with what's going on generally and all the hormonal changes that are going on. So if your liver isn't functioning particularly well, that can impact on the production of bile, which helps to break down and emulsify fats. And a sluggish liver may actually contribute to higher cholesterol levels as well. So you can look at giving your liver just a little bit of a boost now and again with herbs such as dandelion and artichoke. I recommend doing a month of either one, maybe once every 6 months, just to give your liver that little bit of extra support. So I hope you found that really helpful. As you can see, fats and oils are really important for us at this particular time. If you think about it, liken the body to a car engine. If you were going on a long journey in a car, one of the things you would make sure is topped up is the oil, because that keeps the engine going, unless of course you've got an electric car. And it's the same for our bodies. Our bodies go on a long journey every single day during the perimenopause and menopause, and a nice range of healthy fats will keep our body happy. If you have any questions on this, what have you done to help with your fat intake? Is there any specific foods you have found to be really helpful that have made a difference to your symptoms? Then please let me know. I love reading your stories. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon.